What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, looking at a brand new Lightsworn support card coming out of Code of the Duelist. And before I even jump into this card and its applications, let's just look at the artwork for a second, because god damn, it is good. This is like one of the best artworks Konami has probably released in the last calendar year. It is amazing. Like, I honestly look at this and I'm like, yeah, this is some all-time great artwork. I mean, you got Jane right here. She's looking like a badass, looking like Raiden from Metal Gear Rising or Metal Gear 4 or something like that. You got Raikou with the sword in its mouth, and it just looks really, really awesome in my opinion. I'm not sure if the card stand. You know what? I'm not gonna say I'm not sure. The card does not stand up to the artwork. This artwork is it's all-time greatness, and the card's it's okay. I'm not sure if it's like amazing or anything like that. Anyways, this is March of Darkness. It's a normal spell card. It says you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn, so it's a hard once per turn. The effect is target one Lightsworn monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand, then banish cards from the top of your deck equal to the original level of that monster. So it's basically a quicker version of Beckoning Light, or you know what, I guess it's like a more cost-efficient version of Monster Reincarnation for Lightsworn, as that was always kind of a popular card in Lightsworn variants. But the big thing that card did, Monster Reincarnation, was, you know, a lot of times people would get Judgment Dragon back after they milled it. Like, there are things that I like about March of Darkness. I like being able to potentially get back a Lila or a Raiden. Those are probably like the two cards that I would most want to get back. Or I guess you could possibly put in Lumina. It's just, if you, once you go kind of the Lumina route, you're playing like a full-on Lightsworn deck. You can kind of splash Raiden and Lila into just like variants, and I like that, but I don't necessarily like the banishing. Although I don't really think it's going to be that big of a deal, especially if you're playing a 60 card variant. Like, I kind of thought about it, and I thought, like, most of the time you activate this effect, you're probably going to be going for a level 4 or level 3 monster, and is banishing 3 cards or even 4 cards off the top of your deck, is it really all that consequential? Like, probably not. If this card would have milled instead of banished, oh my god, it would have been so amazing. It wouldn't have even been a question, and I think we get a pretty good card here. The thing is, it's not as good as Charge of the Light Brigade, it's not as good as Solar Recharge, because it doesn't have the potential to instantly fuel your deck, to instantly get cards mailed to the graveyard. And I know people are going to say, Cap, it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to banish for Punishment Dragon and for the new way that the Lightsworn are going. But, and I get that, but the thing is, let's be real, the new Lightsworn, the new way Konami has taken this deck, it's just not as good as the old Lightsworn. It just isn't. Like, I've seen people like Lithium play the deck, like I've seen it in action. It just isn't as good. It doesn't coherently work as well, because I don't know, they made Punishment Dragon much worse than Judgment Dragon for some reason. And I understand Konami's want to give Lightsworn more support because it is one of the most popular archetypes of all time. But when they gave Lightsworn when they gave Lightsworn support in the past, in way of like the synchros with Raiden and Michael and Minerva, and then when they gave it the big Minerva, the Exceed, it felt like there was just a natural path that Lightsworn was taking, and it felt like these cards worked well with that path. And now it seems like Konami has just altered the path so drastically, and the new path just isn't as good as the old one, guys. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit and say the new Lightsworns are just as good as the old Lightsworns, because they aren't. So I still think that this card can be played in regular old Lightsworn, because, you know, banishing 4 or 3 cards really isn't that big of a deal, and obviously it works really well if you're gonna play Lightsworn. So I don't know, I guess the way I would have to look at this card is it's very good in Lightsworn, obviously, and I think it's just good in Lightsworn. I would probably only run like one, or I probably just run like one copy, and I think that this is ultimately about the 3rd best spell in Lightsworn right now, probably after Charge and then Solar Recharge. It's not better than those two, but it's probably better than like the Lightsworn Saber. So what do you guys think? I don't think that this is a card that you're going to run 3 of, because this seems like it could super brick in the early game, because unless you activate Solar Recharge or Charge of the Light Brigade before this, you're really just not going to have a graveyard. So I don't know. I think the card's okay. I don't think it's nearly as good as the artwork, though. This is like all-time great artwork. They should have saved this for a broken card, to be honest, because it's just kind of a waste. I'm actually planning on a video called like the top 10 great artworks that were, you know, kind of wasted on mediocre or seldomly played cards, and this might actually fit the bill of that. So if you guys can think of any other cards like that, leave it in the comment section below, because I actually need some help on that video. Anyways, thank you guys for watching as always, and subscribe if you have not already.